Okay, I'm going to wrap up problem number 9 in here, and I've written over on the right hand side some of the important information that we know. We have an absolute minimum at negative pi over 2 comma negative pi over 2 minus 1. We have a stationary point at pi pi. We have an absolute maximum at 3 pi over 2 comma 3 pi over 2 minus 1. We know that y is increasing for all x, of course, except at the stationary point at pi pi. And we know that it's concave up between negative pi over 2 and 0, and between pi and 3 pi over 2, and it is concave down between 0 and pi. Now, based on all that information, we should be able to sketch a fairly accurate curve. Now, you notice that my y-axis is not labeled at all, so it's not really as important to be exact in there. My lowest point is going to have a y value of negative pi over 2 minus 1. And so I'll just label that there. My highest point is going to be at 3 pi over 2 minus 1, and there, somewhere below that is the y value pi, and I can plot those points initially. Okay, so I have those 3 points there. Now I know the function is increasing for all x. The only thing that I do have is I have a stationary point at pi pi, and following that the function is going to be concave up. So that last leg of it might look something like that. And I could also plug in, I don't have here what's the value at when x is equal to 0, but because the original function is x plus sine x, then at 0 my y value is going to be 0 also. So I'll add that to my list of facts and add that point. Now from negative pi over 2 to 0, we've seen that the function is concave up. And at 0 we have a point of inflection. So that branch might look something like that. Now from 0 to pi, it's going to be concave down. And we have to have a stationary point at pi. And so the graph might look something like that. It's not perfect, but that's essentially what it is, except that at 0 there's a smooth transition there as it goes from concave up to concave down. So we'll just go through and check to make sure that we have all the pieces in place. We do have an absolute minimum at negative pi over 2, negative pi over 2 minus 1. We have a stationary point at pi pi. We have an absolute maximum at 3 pi over 2, comma 3 pi over 2 minus 1. The function is increasing for all x except at the stationary point. It's concave up from negative pi over 2 to 0. It is concave up from pi to 3 pi over 2. It is concave down from 0 to pi. And the point 0, 0 is on the curve. So our graph definitely meets all of the criteria that are stated there, and we have solved the problem.